Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by for today's fragrance haul. We are going to be talking about my first Middle Eastern fragrance purchases. I am very excited to dive into this with you. Now you all know that I absolutely love fragrance. Can't get enough. I mean, I definitely have enough. I just seem to not be able to ever get enough. You know what I'm saying. So I was very intrigued by the world of Middle Eastern fragrances. You have a lot of really affordable fragrance dupes or inspired fragrances, let's call them, but you also have some beautiful originals. And I feel like especially in the last year or so, a lot of these brands have started bringing out their own unique scent blends because it really has gotten popular, and most of these are incredibly affordable. I think all of the scents that I'm going to be sharing with you today, I have gotten between $20 and maybe $45, maybe. And we're talking for full 3 ounces or more, so not little babies. Now today we have 5 fragrances to get into, and if you're not new to my channel, you will know that I can tend to be a fragrance rambler, so we're going to leave this intro short. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. We do have our little pup Jet over here, if you heard. He was sort of like, he didn't want to hear my intro again, evidently. I think he's probably like, Mom, we hear that one all the time. So you might be hearing a little bit of background noise. He's just a needy dog. He likes to be hanging out with his mom. He also has a great sniffer. So maybe he's like, you're doing fragrance? I want to be there. All right, let's dive in. All right, our first fragrance is going to be the first one that I purchased. This is the one that started it all. And I am going to blame / give credit to Aleisha from Aleisha's Budget Beauty. So Aleisha does a ton of fragrance content on her channel, everything from niche, mainstream, I mean, obviously Middle Eastern fragrances. And I remember right away being like, this is going on my purchase list because she mentioned that this was a more pistachio-y version of the Khair pistachio gelato, the yum pistachio gelato. And I was like, yes, I absolutely have to try this. Which scent is it? It is the Paris Corner Hair Pistachio, or Pistachio Khair. I'm not quite sure which it is. But anyway, it is this beautiful bottle right here. Now, you can see, by the way, I already filmed this video once, evidently without my microphone on, which is why the perfumes aren't in the box anymore. I did have them all like, you know, cute for you, but this is the box here. I mean, look at that beautiful packaging, but the bottle itself is absolutely beautiful. In fact, I recently set this out onto my little fragrance area in the bedroom. I have like a little tabletop dresser and I have some of my like seasonal scent picks sitting out, and I put this one out and Jeremy was like, wow, that bottle is just so beautiful. So he also likes it. Now, I will just tell you right off the bat that I absolutely love, I love this. Now this is almost exactly what I would like out of the Khair fragrance. Like this has a lot of those notes. I wouldn't say that it's a dupe, but it's definitely inspired by. You definitely get a little bit of that soapy freshness out of this that you do out of the Khair, but you do get more nuttiness. And I will tell you, I'll be honest, y'all, I feel like the Khair scents as a brand don't really have a lot of longevity. And that's one thing that you'll find about a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances, not necessarily all of them, but a lot of them, is that they have a lot more lasting power. And I would say that about this one for sure. This has a decent amount of projection. Like it isn't going to be like beast mode, fills up a room, but it absolutely, I can definitely smell it, and the longevity of it is great. I would say that you're gonna get like a good 6 to 7 hours. And if it's on your clothes, I would say honestly a little bit longer than that. Sometimes I will wear this to bed just because of that like snuggliness that it has. And in the morning, if I'm wearing like a pajama top or whatever, I can still smell it just like that hint. So I really like it. The notes here are Italian bergamot, pistachio gelato, hazelnut, sweet rum, and cardamom in the top. You're definitely getting that little like fresh kick of bergamot in the beginning without it being like too citrusy, but it gives that fresh burst. I absolutely get the pistachio, the creamy pistachio, and the hazelnut. And actually I do get a bit of that cardamom. This really has that, it's sort of like, wow, this is going to be a bad combination, but like fresh soapy with a nutty cardamom dessert, you know? So then the middle, you have geranium, white peony, mugwort, which by the way is lily of the valley, jasmine, raspberry, white peach, and pear. I will be honest, I don't really, the floral and the fruitiness in this really is just almost more like a balance. It makes it so that it's not just like straight up like nuts, and it's also not too sickly sweet. It's just a good balancer. I don't really get any specific floral from this. Something light, something fresh, like if you were eating pistachio gelato while like walking through a garden on a like 75-degree day, you know, like, I hope that makes sense. So in the base, you have the whipped cream, marshmallow, cotton candy, Turkish delight, accord, cocoa, cedarwood, sandalwood, and tonka. So you're getting a lot of those notes that are in the Kayali version. You definitely get a very creamy vibe from this. It's not sickly sweet. And honestly, just like within, sorry, somebody's turning on the hose outside. Just like how I was scared about the cotton candy note in the Kayali Yum version, I was a little bit worried about this, and it's not overly cloyingly sweet. Like, I could wear this on a very warm summer day and still feel confident. The cedarwood and the sandalwood, again, you're just getting that like cozy, almost like skin scent out of this, and then the tonka just gives it that like creamy slash powdery. The end of this is kind of powdery. I don't love a lot of that, but it definitely works with this. Again, this is just really beautifully blended. So now if you are new to a niche or Middle Eastern fragrance brand, a lot of them are making smaller batches and then sending them out almost right away. So that means that it's not like big designer brands where they're making thousands of these bottles at a time and then, you know, having them sit on shelves and macerating, you know, sort of developing and melding as they sit before they even hit the shelves. So I definitely recommend macerating your scents for a while just to really give them that opportunity if it is a fresh batch. Now, what I've noticed is that a lot of the Middle Eastern brands, I'm not sure about other brands like here in the States, but a lot of these have a manufacture date. So this one was actually manufactured in February of this year, 2024. So I've had this one, by the way, for, oh my gosh, at this point, it's been at least 6 weeks. So I, for sure, right away when I get a bottle of fragrance, I open it up, I pump it so that some air is able to get into the bottle. And then that way it's able to, you know, really oxidize a bit and start that maceration process. This one has probably already been macerated since, you know, now we're at the middle of June. So we're probably on a good note, but I can see some of these scents developing even further. This is a love. There is another hair version. I can't remember what it was, but if the scent is so well blended like this one, it would be one that I would want to put on my wish list. So definitely a love. I think I got this one for around $40. I will try to find a couple purchasing options for you and have links down below of all of these fragrances. Now, the next two scents that I got are by no means new to this world. If you have been around, if you have either purchased or watched a lot of fragrance content as far as Middle Eastern fragrances, you will have seen people's thoughts on these. I had to do it. I had to buy the Khamrah fragrances. I got both the original and the Qahwa version. And I know I watched a lot of content before deciding to get these, and you know, a lot of people have a favorite, one or the other. A lot of people say that you don't need both. I did a lot of watching content, and I also did a lot of soul searching, and I was like, I can't not get each of these because they just both sounded great. Now, the packaging is definitely indicative of a high-end brand. You have a really super sturdy box, and then it comes with a beautiful presentation with the reflective background. Now, you can tell probably just from the packaging that this is absolutely inspired by Kilian fragrances. Here's the thing. It is said that this is not the Qahwa version, but the original Khamrah is a dupe for Angel Share from Kilian. I don't get that. I really don't get that at all. Honestly, I'm not overly impressed by Angel Share. I like it. I think it really blends really well with other fragrances. You know, it's okay. I've never found it to be, oh my God, spectacular, especially for Kilian prices. But I have heard that a lot of people like this much more than Angel Share, and that it has incredible lasting power. So let's talk about the notes of the original Khamrah. So the top notes are cinnamon, nutmeg, and bergamot. You have dates, praline, tuberose, and mahonial in the middle. And then the base is vanilla, tonka bean, benzoin, myrrh, amberwood, and akigala wood. So a lot of very typical Middle Eastern notes in this scent. When I originally did this video, I actually had one sprayed on one arm and one sprayed on the other. And today it is far, far too warm to do that. It is like almost 90 degrees today. So I'm not going to do that because these are powerhouse fragrances, both of them. They give beast mode. They are very long lasting, very projecting. And I think that for me, these are absolutely fall and winter fragrances, and for me will be something that I just don't wear a lot to work because they are very sweet. You have to be ready for a gourmand. You definitely get a spicy, vanilla-y, very like simmered on low heat until it gets very concentrated. It is that very dark, sexy sweet though, not like sticky. I don't even want to say caramel. Like when they talk about the dates in the praline, it's more like earthy than a caramel. Lots of vanilla. That amber wood and the akigala wood definitely give a great background. It's a beautiful scent. So my Khamrah is from March of this year. So definitely, you know, at a point now, especially since I have had these, I got the Khair pistachio, and then it was only a couple weeks later that I got these. So they have been macerating for a while. It's so good. If you like a gourmand, a sexy date night fragrance, I could see this definitely being unisex. It gives me, if you like something like Tobacco Vanille or like Paco Rabanne 1 Million, this is maybe in that like sort of family, you know, where you've got some spice, you've got some sweetness. I love it. I really love it. Like, absolutely glad to have this one. So let's talk about the flanker, Khamrah Qahwa. So you have the original in the black box, and then the Qahwa comes in the like mahogany colored or brown box. So I'm gonna actually set this here. I'm running out of room already, y'all. So the bottles themselves are actually a bit different. You can see that the original is, you know, definitely that like standard sort of Killian vibe. This one has a bit more of a dark base to it. I don't necessarily want to say it's ombre. At first I thought it might just be that the juice is darker, but you can see that the bottom is actually darker as well. So it gives you a way to be able to distinguish between the two if you have them both out on your vanity or in like a fragrance cabinet or something. So this, again, I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now, I can't pick a favorite. There is just something about this one to me that is maybe a bit more of a beautiful blend. It's even more beautifully blended. So you have the top notes of ginger, cinnamon, and cardamom. So here you get that little bit of spice from the ginger, but it's not like that bitter, tangy, pungent ginger. The middle, praline, candied fruits, and white flowers. So we've replaced the date with candied fruits in general, which technically dates are, they seem kind of candied even though they're not. But you get a little bit more of that like sweetness but depth from it. It definitely has a little bit of a different vibe to it. And then the base notes, you have coffee Arabica, tonka beans, musk, benzoin, and vanilla. So that Arabic coffee just lends itself that little bit of bitter note that, I mean, I love coffee. This does not smell like coffee. If I had just picked this up, I would not have said, wow, this smells like coffee. You're not going to smell like a coffee house. You're not going to smell like a latte, but it has that deep richness. You know how coffee lends itself to chocolate? I think that the coffee in this really lends itself to the spices in here, that vanilla. It just really balances it out beautifully. You have that musk in here. I feel like this is definitely maybe a little bit more grown-up, sophisticated, sexy. I feel like this one is sweeter. This one is more balanced with that bitter note from the coffee. They're both great though. I will absolutely wear both of them a lot. And in case you're curious, this one was created in May of this year. So I will be excited to see in a couple months after maceration, like I'm gonna be excited to pull these out for fall and winter because maybe they'll have even more depth, just be a little bit more interesting. They're great now, so I can only imagine what they'll be like by fall. Okay, now I have a little story. Let me move these boxes and we'll get into a story. All right, so Obviously, the 3 scents that we've gone over already are a little bit tipping more into that gourmand. The Pistachio Khair is more somewhere in the middle, but because of those nutty notes and the creamy notes, it's still definitely a gourmand. But the other two are like deep, heady fall winter vibes. So when I was doing a little research, trying to find something a little bit lighter, fresher, fruity, something that I could wear more in higher heat, you know, something a little bit flirtier even, I saw notes come across about the Ajayeb Dubai Portrait, and several people said this has more of like a green mango note. You get a bit of fruitiness. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I saw it on Amazon, y'all. It was listed for like $20, $20 for a full size. So I ordered it. And this is what came. This is Ajayeb, but it is the Dubai original, or Dubai just regular. I don't want to say that it's the original. Definitely not the same thing. So I reached out to Amazon and they were like, just keep it, we'll refund your money. And I was like, okay. But yet I still didn't have this one. So I ended up getting this on Walmart. It was like a couple dollars more, but I got the actual thing. So we're going to talk about both of these. Let's talk first about the Dubai Portrait, because that's the one that I was wanting to get. So this bottle is super pretty. You have this, I mean, it almost looks like, you know, ice, like that hammered glass. It's very nice. The caps, I think, on all of these are plastic, but the bottles are all that real glass. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I have to be honest. I knew that this was risky for me. I knew that it was risky because the top notes are orange and lemon. And if you know me, I always say sometimes those citruses smell like cleaning products on me. I wouldn't go as far as to say that that happens, but the very initial spritz of this, the first, like, let's say 10 minutes of this fragrance, I feel definitely very, I'm gonna say sort of like bug spray, not bug spray, but you know, that like citronella type scent. I get that for like the first couple moments of this. It dies down. It absolutely dies down. The heart notes are jasmine, mango, and osmanthus. Honestly, it is probably a mix. That's what it is. It's probably a mix of the lemon and the jasmine that kind of give me that vibe, because I think that jasmine can have that very like pungent, almost a little bit into green vibe. Anyway, so then the base is amber, sandalwood, musk, and oud. Also, oud is one of those things that people either love or they don't. I really don't mind it as long as it's done balanced. Here's the thing. So I will say, oh, by the way, just to back up, both of the Khamrahs last a very long time. A very long time. I would say you're going to get 8 hours. At the end, you know, you definitely are getting just more of those like base notes, but they're great, long-lasting, very high projecting scents. Okay, we're going to come back into this one because it's a journey. After about that first 10 to 15 minutes, you do get a lot more of the fruitiness of the mango in here. It softens out more. It definitely gets a little bit more of that wood coming through. You know, that sandalwood comes through and you get a little bit more of that like cozying up to your skin vibe. I don't know that this is ever going to be my favorite scent. I will enjoy maybe mixing it with a couple scents that are a bit more fruit forward for me. It has decent lasting power. I wouldn't say that it's super long lasting. I'm going to say 4 to 5 hours maybe. At the very end, really all you're going to get is that like skin scent note, you know, that like cozy note, which is fine. It's fine, but I don't know that this is one that I would ever repurchase again. But if, you know, that like green mango and a lot of those like citrus notes, if you like citrus notes on you and you like jasmine, you will probably really like this one. I like jasmine. I was hoping that the orange would be a little bit more orange and less just like citrus. Does that make sense? Probably not. We're going to move on. Now, what I will say though is the silver lining in that rain cloud, well, it's not a rain cloud, but the silver lining in the less than ideal cloud is the fact that I really enjoy this one, not just on me, but on Jeremy as well. So when this came, I was like, Boy, I don't know. This is going to be a risk taker for me because for some reason, when I first smell this and when I smell it on me, I get a pinch of a suede scent. I'm not going to even say leather because it's not quite as strong as that. I feel like suede is a little bit softer, a little cozier. I just get that. And that isn't something that I usually love on myself. But I was like, I could see this. I'm going to wear this a little bit and we'll see. Now, when I gave it to Jeremy to try on, he was right away like, oh, this is like that pineapple fragrance I like. By the way, for those of you that are new here, whenever Jeremy says that pineapple fragrance, he is talking about the Tiziana Terenzi Orion scent, which I got him as a gift. It is very pineapple forward. They don't smell anything alike. They really don't. But that one to me is definitely more of a stronger cologne. It is not like strong as in power, as in it leans definitely more into like a typical cologne. It has more fresh notes to it and it's not as sweet as this one is. So I was like, I don't think so. Well, then I looked up the notes. The notes on this, the top notes are saffron and pineapple. Who would have thought? Now that I know that, I get that. But it is a warm pineapple. It is not a fresh pineapple. It's sort of like a pineapple that has been, you know, maybe you put some pineapple and saffron on the stove and had it going for a while. You know, it's got a little bit more richness to it. The middle notes are coffee Arabica and violet leaves. So you get a little bit of that bitter note. You get some green, some balance out of that violet. You get some green out of the violet leaves. Then the base notes are sandalwood, butterscotch, and vanilla. If butterscotch makes you think cloyingly sick, like sweet, overly gourmand, don't be afraid. This has a very good balance. The sandalwood sort of softens it. I honestly would never have guessed butterscotch in here at all. I get the vanilla. I would not say butterscotch. I love eating butterscotch, but I don't know that I'd ever want to smell like butterscotch. It's just too much. That's too much gourmandiness for me. There's no suede in this. I don't know where I'm getting that, but I definitely get a little bit of that. So this scent, the longevity on that one is amazing. Actually, Jeremy was wearing it yesterday, and this morning when I went to give him a hug and kiss goodbye, I was like, you still smell good. Like I could still smell it on his skin. So definitely long lasting. I'm going to say 8+ hours. Now, granted, at the end there, you're getting more again of that like sweet, musky kind of vibe, but it smells delicious. Every time he wears it, I'm like, you're wearing that one that I put on your dresser, aren't you? Because I do have a feeling he will get more use out of this than I will. If I was to wear this one, I would probably pair it with something that has more vanilla to it. I would probably pair it. I actually kind of want to try this with Pear Ink, something that has, I don't know, a little bit of fruitiness. This might actually be even good with some cherry. I don't know. I'm going to have fun, but this is probably a layerable for me just because it does lean a smidge more into masculine. I definitely prefer it on him than me, and that is okay because again, we're talking like around $20. Not going to be mad at it. Okay, so that is my first foray into Middle Eastern fragrance. I hope that you found my thoughts helpful. Let me know if you have any of these and if there's anything that you feel like hearing from my scent preferences that you think I would enjoy if it's in your collection. I absolutely love getting to hear the scents that you're loving, so please let me know down in the comments. I will say I have already ordered a couple more fragrances from Middle Eastern houses. It's a rabbit hole and I've gone down it and I'm enjoying it. So thank you so much, lovies. Again, I will do a little bit of digging and try to find some great prices for you. So check the links down below if any of these sound good to you, and I will see you really soon.